Texas Tech is announcing more changes to COVID-19 guidelines as the city of Lubbock continues to set new records of COVID-19 infections. Coming up, we'll have the full details on what you need to know heading into the end of the semester.
Men and women who served and are currently serving our country and count themselves as Red Raiders will soon be honored in a new addition to campus. MCTV's Patricia Perry has a look at the new Military and Veterans Plaza and how one campus group is raising money to go from concept to reality.
COVID-19 has been hard on everyone, but especially on those who may have had to spend a large part of 2020 living alone. But one recent event gave some lonely Lubbock residents the chance to find a new furry friend. MCTV's Carmen Brown has the details on the annual Home for the Holidays pet adoption.
And Tech football may be off this week, but there's a couple of other teams gearing up to make their mark during a new season. We'll have a preview of the Red Raider and Lady Raider basketball team's pre-Thanksgiving debut.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday's edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Elizabeth Martinez.
And I'm Ryan Heller.
The coronavirus situation here in Lubbock continues to worsen, with an increasing number of infections and hospitalized patients each day. In response to the local outbreak, Texas Tech is making some changes to help prevent the university from adding to the spread of COVID-19. Yesterday's TTU President Lawrence Skunovec sent out a memo to the campus community outlining new guidelines for university events and gatherings. The first and most immediate change is a new limit on extracurricular activities. As of Wednesday, any event or gathering on campus can only include 10 people or less. This aligns the university with previous guidelines set by the city of Lubbock back in October. Any event or gathering with more than 10 people that is scheduled between now and Monday, November 30th, is required to go virtual, be postponed, or canceled. This restriction does not apply to in-person classes taking place before the Thanksgiving break, but all other academic activities are subject to the new limit. The other exceptions to the new guidelines include previous scheduled sporting events on campus and the fall commencement ceremonies that are planned for December. Any athletic event that is scheduled in the TTU venue will now be subject to enhanced safety requirements. Although specific details were not included in the memo, President Skunovec to state that tailgating at any sporting event is now canceled. There will be increased enforcement of mask wearing in athletic facilities, and seating capacities will be reduced from the current 25% occupancy limit. These changes will have the biggest effect on Texas Tech football and basketball, which both have home games scheduled within the next 3 weeks. Fall in-person commencement exercises are still scheduled to be held on campus December 11th and 12th. As of today, the university has not released any additional details regarding graduation, but there has been talk of multiple ceremonies to reduce the number of people in the USA. There's also a limit on the number of guests per graduate that can attend commencement. However, yesterday's memo states that there is a possibility that the in-person ceremonies may be canceled if the COVID-19 situation in Lubbock continues to worsen. The university has already announced plans to include all graduates in a virtual ceremony on December 19th, and that option also serves as a backup plan if any in-person commencement is canceled.
As Elizabeth just mentioned, the COVID-19 situation in Lubbock County is in a downward spiral as we near the end of the semester. Yesterday, Lubbock health officials reported 449 new cases of the coronavirus, bringing the current number of active cases to 5,377. There were also 3 additional deaths reported on Wednesday, bringing the total to 286 since March and 78 since the beginning of November. Lubbock hospitals also continued to see an increase of COVID-19 patients, with the hospitalization rate rising to 28.71% by yesterday afternoon. Lubbock has now had a hospitalization rate over 15% for 32 days. There are currently 301 people infected with COVID-19 in Lubbock County hospitals, and 83 of those are in ICU. Even with the increase in the hospitalization rate, the one piece of good news is that the number of patients dropped from 320 on Tuesday to 301 on Wednesday. This allowed for 20 open beds on Wednesday. However, there were 17 patients waiting to be admitted, and by 4 p.m. there were only 3 remaining hospital beds for all patients in Lubbock County. Here on campus, university officials reported 28 new infections yesterday afternoon between 21 students and 7 employees. There were also 40 new recoveries. With those new numbers, Texas Tech currently has 314 active cases of the coronavirus in the campus community, which is a drop from Tuesday's 326 active infections. Tuesday's count was the highest number of students, faculty, and staff currently battling COVID-19 since September 15th. Since Monday, Tech officials have reported 138 new cases of the coronavirus, with 2 more days of testing remaining this week. In comparison, the campus had a total of 214 new cases between Saturday, November 7th, and last Friday, November 13th. Overall, Texas Tech stands at 2,725 total reported cases of COVID-19 since the beginning of August.
COVID-19 may be stealing the headlines right now, but there's still another threat that could also put a strain on healthcare resources as we head into the coldest months of the year. Luckily, one campus group is doing all they can to help students stay healthy before leaving campus for the Thanksgiving break. Late fall through early spring is considered flu season in the United States, but unlike COVID-19, a vaccine is currently available to help avoid infection. Yesterday, the Student Wellness Center held a free walk-up clinic for students to get vaccinated. Starting at 8 a.m., student wellness staff were available on the east side of Urbanowski Park to administer the vaccine. But with the threat of COVID-19 continuing, staff at the clinic are continuing to urge students to be cautious as they head home for the holiday.
They just need to wear a mask, social distance, they need to wash their hands, they just need to be smart and make sure that they protect themselves and others around them as well.
The walk-up flu shot clinic finished up at 5 p.m. yesterday afternoon, but the Student Wellness Center is continuing to provide vaccinations through Friday or as long as supplies last. To get your free flu shot, just stop by on-campus clinic anytime tomorrow between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. The Student Wellness Center is located at the intersection of Flint and Main Street, across from the northeast corner of Urbanowski Park.
In other news, the Texas Tech Alumni Association recently announced plans to create a special place on campus to honor those who have served or those who are currently serving our country. And over the weekend, the alumni group partnered with Tech's military and veterans organizations to hold a special event to help make this idea a reality. MCTV's Patricia Perry stopped by the Frazier Alumni Pavilion to find out more.
Today is a Texas Tech football game, but it's not just any football game. This one's a little more special. As you can tell by the flags behind me, this is the Celebrate America game. Many are celebrating the veterans and their families and friends, including the Department of Military and Veterans here at Texas Tech University. They are hosting a tailgate to try to raise money for their new TechScan Military and Veteran Plaza that they are hoping to build in the near future.
The Texas Tech Veterans and Military Organization's tailgate was to raise money and awareness for this new TechScan Veterans and Military Plaza. Jim Douglas with the Alumni Association talks about what this exactly is.
It'll be located just outside the McKenzie Market Alumni Center on the southeast corner of the Texas Tech campus. And this will be a place to recognize those who are Texas Tech affiliated in any way, whether they're a student, a former student, or they're parents of, or a spouse, or relatives, or just loved ones who would like to recognize and honor someone who has had their military service. And it does not have to be somebody who's already passed. It could be current military. Anybody who's connected at all with the military, there's a place for them to be honored and welcomed.
While the tailgate was to raise money to start the building process, they also wanted to raise awareness and celebrate the veterans within the Texas Tech community.
Well, from this tailgate, we're hoping to bring awareness to the plaza that's being built at the Mercury Alumni Pavilion on the northeast side. The point of this is to honor our military veterans that have served within the Texas Tech system.
The plaza will have bricks, benches, and pavers that will be sold. Bricks will be running $300, benches $25,000, and pavers will be $3,000. There is also an option just to donate to the Military and Veterans Organization. For MCTV, I'm Patricia Perry.
Fall has finally set in here on the South Plains, and that's led to colder mornings followed by mild conditions in the afternoon. But after a fairly consistent week of sunshine and warmer temperatures, there could be some big changes headed our way this weekend. MCTV's Madison Hartin joins us in studio with the latest look at the forecast. Madison.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, you are correct. We have been seeing fairly consistent conditions here on the South Plains over the last couple of days, and it has been wonderful. Every day we wake up and it's in the 30s and 40s or the 50s, and we can all go outside and have a little bit of sweater weather, but by the time mid-afternoon rolls around and we're in the 70s and 80s, we get to enjoy all the abundant sunshine that's outside, especially like we've been seeing this afternoon. And today has been very similar and has kept that pattern up. For today, our high temperature climbed all the way up to 85 degrees with sunny and warm conditions and a southwesterly wind coming at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And as per usual, the temperatures are going to drop as the sun goes down for this evening, dropping down to 51 degrees with clear and cool conditions and a wind coming from the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now, looking at the South Plains as a whole, we've been seeing a little bit of a temperature disparity, which is fairly common here on the South Plains. It's always a little bit warmer out there to the east of us than it is to the west of us, but we can see out by Muleshoe it is 43 degrees, and then if we go to the east of us at Aspermont, it is 52 degrees is our low. That is almost a 10-degree difference here on the South Plains, which is crazy. I know we all know about the temperature disparity, but it is really cool to see it in action. Looking into our warm temperatures for tomorrow, however, we are going to be seeing another return to conditions in the 70s, mid-70s for most of the South Plains, except of course out there where it is a little bit cooler, where out of Friona it is sitting at 69 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, our cooler temperatures are going to roll back into town as we move into tomorrow, with lows in about the upper 40s to mid 40s. So again, another chilly morning here on the South Plains. Bringing it back into Lubbock locally, we are going to keep seeing this pattern. For Friday, a high of 75 degrees, low of 46, and a northeasterly wind coming at 10 to 15 miles per hour with abundant sunshine out there. I don't think there's going to be a single cloud in the sky for that day. For Saturday, it's still going to be sunny, but we are going to be seeing some partial cloud cover with a high of 61 degrees, a low of 47, and a southeasterly wind coming at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then for Sunday is when we're going to start to see a lot of big changes come through the area, with a high of 52 degrees, so a little bit cooler that day, low of 41, a northeasterly wind coming at 15 to 25 miles per hour, with higher wind gusts possible as high as 35 miles per hour. And of course, the thing that everyone's been waiting for, everyone's been praying for it, a little bit of rain possibilities here for Lubbock, Texas. We have a 40% chance of rain for the area, which is much needed. We are still in a bit of a drought, and we haven't seen any substantial precipitation here in Lubbock city limits since last October when we saw that snow come through. So having a little bit of actual rain come through the area is a much welcome surprise. For MCTV Weather, I'm Madison Hartin. Back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Madison. COVID-19 has caused a lot of mental health issues as people through the world attempt to adjust to a new way of life. And students are no exceptions, but one coping mechanism that many people have turned to comes into form of a furry friend. MCTV's Carmen Brown has the details on one event that gave local residents the chance to bring home a new companion.
On Saturday, Scoggin Dickey Subaru hosted their annual Home for the Holidays pet adoption event. The local dealership organizes this event as a service to the community, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic.
We've been doing it for the community to help out some of the pets rescues, to find a home, and also help families find a friend. So some people are staying home, nothing to do, and at least a pet keeps you company and keeps you happy during these times.
Scoggin Dickey sales representative Cesar Perez says that this year's pet adoption differs from past events with an online and in-person option for people looking for a furry friend.
Well, we're doing it here too, and we also have a virtual adoption. If you want to go to Scoggin Dickey Subaru on Facebook, you can find the link there and you can actually look at the pets and find a way to get through it without having to come here.
Many local pet adoption organizations came out to support today's event. And not only were there just local Lubbock organizations, but there were many organizations from different communities who brought several pets. Corinne Guillermo with the Post Animal Refuge Center, located outside of Lubbock, brought their animals to Saturday's event. Guillermo said this was her first time attending the event and believes adoption serves an important purpose in the welfare of animals.
Well, there's always more dogs for adoption than there are people willing to adopt them, and it's just so important to get them into good homes. It's so sad to see them in shelters and in cages when we know there are loving people out there.
Attendees of the Home for the Holidays event had the chance to view and interact with dozens of animals. Carmen Sanders, a freshman animal sciences major at Texas Tech, stopped by Scoggin Dickey to learn more about opportunities to help out shelters in the Lubbock area.
It was very nice to be here. It actually made me want to volunteer more because I used to volunteer at animal shelters a lot, but being here made me just want to come back and volunteer.
Sanders had the chance to interact with several of the pets and had a couple of favorites.
Meeting Roxy and Barney. They were just two goofballs. They were very perfect, and I would take them home if I could.
If you missed this past weekend's event, Scoggin Dickey plans to host another pet adoption next year. To check out pets from this year's event, search for Scoggin Dickey Subaru on Facebook. For MCTV, I am Carmen Brown.
Texas Tech Athletics has a quiet weekend ahead, as only one sports team is in action this week, and no sporting events are scheduled on campus until the Thanksgiving break. Tech Volleyball is the lone competitor hitting the court this week. Tech is heading north to take on the Kansas Jayhawks for their final two-game conference series. The Red Raiders are sitting at 5-9 overall this season, and even though a pair of victories would not give them a winning record, it could allow them to finish out in the top half of the conference standings. Game 1 of this week's series starts tonight at 6:30 p.m. in Lawrence, Kansas, followed by another 6:30 start tomorrow night for the final game of the season. If you didn't make the trip north, you can still catch all the action on Big 12 Now on ESPN+.
Even though there aren't any sporting events going on this weekend, Tech Athletics is making up for the empty schedule with two big debuts here on campus next week. Both the men's and women's basketball teams will hit the floor Wednesday at the United Supermarkets Arena for a pre-Thanksgiving showdown. First up, the Lady Raiders will take on Rio Grande Valley in a 1 p.m. tip-off. The game will give fans the first chance to see the team with the new coach, Krista Gerlich, at the helm. Wednesday will also include a few newcomers to the team, including transfer Vivian Gray, who is spending her senior year as a Lady Raider. Gray was selected to the preseason All-Big 12 list back in October. And later on Wednesday, the Red Raider basketball team will take over new courts as they welcome Northwestern State to the USA. Head coach Chris Beard's team is a mix of new and old faces, but the team is already making headlines with the preseason top 25 ranking. The number 14 ranked Red Raiders have a stacked roster with new names such as Marcus Santos, Silva, and Mac McClung, along with returning stars including Kyler Edwards and Avery Benson. Tech versus Northwestern State is scheduled for 6 p.m. with TV coverage on ESPN+.
Speaking of Red Raider basketball, one former member of the team is celebrating today after making an early leap to the pros. Former Red Raider Jamias Ramsey was selected by the Sacramento Kings in the second round of last night's NBA draft. Ramsey was the 43rd pick of the night, securing his spot as a professional athlete after only 1 year of play at Texas Tech. Ramsey racked up a number of honors during his time as a Red Raider, including Big 12 All-Newcomer Team, Big 12 All-Freshman Team, and was also the first Tech player to be named Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Ramsey's pick last night is also big for Texas Tech, giving the men's program its third straight year to have a player selected in the first night of the draft. Ramsey ended his career at Tech averaging 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.3 steals per game. Ramsey scored double figures in 21 of 27 contests with a career high of 27 points against Long Island last November, followed by 26 against Kansas in Allen Fieldhouse during regular season play.
Thanksgiving is 1 week away, but this season many people have been spending less time thinking about food and more time looking for deals as they prepare for Christmas. And as MCTV's Lauren Savage shows us, some local vendors took advantage of the increased interest in shopping with a special holiday-themed event.
Every December, local businesses and vendors come together for one weekend in an attempt to sell holiday goods. At the heart of this event is something much more important to these business owners. Dawn Childers, owner of Mammy's Metal Art and More, says it's very important to support events like Christmas on West 19th.
Here, a lot of times, people come in and say, we didn't even know you were out here. And we're like, we got to fix this. Because there's some just really amazing, fun shops out here that are great. And we would just like to draw more attention to our businesses and Home Gallery Furniture Store, Junk Monkeys, Antique Mall of Lubbock, Wild West Vintage Decor, myself, Jackalope Junk, and Magnolia, and the Tiny Herd Boutique.
Lacey Jones, owner of Wild West Vintage Decor, says customers should shop local this holiday season.
Definitely come and see us for the holiday season because like all the other small businesses in town, we definitely need your support to get through the next couple of months, especially with the big box stores that we compete against. We have a lot of great gift items. We still have a ton of Christmas stuff, and everything is very affordable as well.
Shannon Drew, owner of Fanny Rose's Rustic Chic Boutique, feels that more than just the businesses benefit when you shop local.
A lot of vintage, a lot of junk, a lot of repurposed, things that we don't want to go into a landfill. We'd like for people to be able to use them if they can, and so we just search all over, find some good stuff, and bring it out here so people have the opportunity to use it in their homes. You know, shopping local is so important, and if you have the opportunity to keep something out of a landfill and shop local and serve your community at the same time, I think think that that's a win-win for everybody.
This holiday season, vendors ask customers to consider stopping by a local business for their holiday shopping. For MCTV, I'm Lauren Savage.
So Ryan, I hear today is your last time to be a part of the MCTV?
Yeah, I'm graduating December. It's very sad last time, and a little birdie told me this is your last semester too. I hear you're graduating as well.
Yeah, sadly. All good things have to come to an end.
Really is. I mean, it's sad, but you know what? I appreciated my time here. I'm never going to forget everyone here behind the scenes and all that. It's really been a blessing. I've been so happy to be a part of all of this.
Texas Tech will be missed. That's all for today's edition of the MCTV's Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We will see you later.